Hey guys, it's me, Durante, back to you with the Expert Process videocast and podcast. Check this out. I wanted to share something with you. I just thought about in different conversations that I've been having with friends and business partners over the last few days. And that is now more than ever, it's imperative to have belief and confidence in yourself and in what you're doing. It's imperative to understand and know your value. So, and the reason why I say that, and I'm gonna take a quick walk. What you see behind me is the aquatic center. I'm actually about to go for a quick swim. It's a Saturday, trying to get my workout in. And this is just a peek at the inside of the pool, so you guys can get an idea of what this looks like and what we do. But it's imperative to know and understand your value, because in today's marketplace, understand that corporations, these big corporations, mega corporations, business owners, everyone's trying to squeeze as much out of you as they can, right? Everyone's trying to basically get the maximum value, the maximum amount of work, the maximum amount of whatever they can get out of you guys, right? Whatever they can get out of us. And so you have to know and understand your value. And that's one of my biggest things, is that I understand that in today's marketscape, what you have to offer, your business, your your presentation, your ideas, your product is not going to be for everyone. You have to understand that. And the new move actually on social media, the new move on marketing really has shifted from these super large followings down to what you call niche followings, right? It just means small followings. And the reason for that is, it's because people are finally beginning to understand it's better to have a small core group of followers, a small core group of individuals, of supporters that can get behind you, that are with you, than this huge mega audience that does nothing to support you. And that's the same in business, but it's also the same in your personal life, man. You have to know your value. And so if you don't understand your own value, you don't know what that is, then you got to find it. One of the things, a conversation I had with a good friend of mine recently, within the last couple of days or so, what we talked about was, so how can you justify the spend? I said, well, I justify the spend because of the expertise that I bring to the table, the knowledge, the expertise, the wisdom, all the years of experience that I bring to the table, right? But more importantly, I know there's no one doing what I do, or they're not doing it the way I do it, and I charge you accordingly. I only charge you for what I know is going to be a great return on your investment of your time, energy, and money. So you have to put forth some effort into that. You have to put forth some energy into that. You have to put forth an investment and some money into that. And if you understand that, then you also understand that this is what we're talking about is, this is something that's not new really to anyone. It's what folks have known for a very long time, but it's also what people know and understand that are successful in business. They know that you have to have the mindset, the understanding, and the wherewithal that you charge appropriately for your expertise. Now, the other side to that is, if you don't have any experience, if you're a newbie or a novice, then you have to get out there and do the work. Now, you're going to most likely have to do some free stuff. I mean, it's just how it goes. You're going to have to do a lot of, low-paying stuff in the beginning just to get your name out there and to prove what you do. But once you prove that value, once you have the value, then it's up to you as to what you feel is the amount you should charge. And so The other thing I would want to encourage folks to understand is that your value is only as valuable as you make it, as you determine that it is. So if your value is low, it's because you don't value yourself. If your value is low, it's because you don't value your time and your energy and your effort. So I want to be clear, knowing your value, knowing your worth, the important thing to understand there is that not everyone is going to be your customer. Your customer is not the entire field. That's what's called a scattershot approach. In other words, slinging mud to the wall and seeing what sticks, in an appropriate way of saying that. And if you take that approach, you just have to understand that it could take a lot longer to find success in whatever it is that you do. My theory and the way I've always operated is that I only need a small percentage of a very large market in order to be successful. If, for example, in Atlanta, there are 100,000 potential customers in that specific industry, right? 1% of that is 100. So 10% is, correct myself, 10% of 100,000 is 10,000, 1% is 1,000. And then you've got a fraction of 1%, 0.001, is 100. I don't need 1,000 customers to be successful. Not for what I charge. Now, if I'm charging $1,000 a pop, perhaps. I mean, if I'm charging a dollar a pop, but at what I charge and my fees that I justify by what I do, by the value that I bring, I don't need 100,000 customers. In fact, frankly, I don't need 1,000 customers. So what I try to explain to you guys is first off, learn what your value is. Look at the comparables in the market. Look at the value of and the rates that are being charged by others in the market that are similar to what you do. And whatever they're charging, you should be in that range. If you're not, then either you're undercharging or you're undervaluing yourself, or you simply aren't doing something right. So my advice to you is learn what your value is, learn what your value proposition is, position yourself in the appropriate way so that you can see and realize success off and maximize your efforts off of essentially the correct valuation of your talents, the correct valuation of your business, then maybe guesswork. Then maybe what a lot of us do is we try to compete against price, when in fact competing against price will almost always put you on the losing end of the spectrum rather than competing on your value. So these are just some things I wanted to share with you.